welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. It's our great pleasure to introduce Alpha Exploration, Matt Grainger. Matt, welcome.
Thank you, Chen. Thanks so much. Good to be here.
Yeah, Alpha is a little bit unknown story in the investment community, but you have been making big discoveries. Tell us what's going on.
We have, that's right. Yeah, we are focused in the Nubian Shield, so a little bit different to most of the stories that I sort of hear this weekend. And we're there because the ability to make this big discovery. So we're going to the part of the world where what we consider to be the final frontier in terms of making discoveries, because no one's done modern day exploration there. And we're finding things pretty much sticking out of the ground. I think if you came to British Columbia here 200 years ago, or Australia, you would find these sort of things, but with all the modern day exploration there, those opportunities have gone, but we're finding them very successfully in Eritrea, within the Nubian Shield. And we've made 3 big discoveries in the last 3 years. One of them is a orogenic gold project. One is a copper gold porphyry project. And we've also made a VMS discovery. And arguably any one of those projects, a typical junior would be very happy to have them. And we have 3. So yeah, we've got a very strong management team that have been effective in discovering, developing, and selling projects in Eritrea, including companies like Nevsun, which is actually quite well understood. A lot of people made good money there, and it went on, of course, to fund the acquisition of Reservoir, the eventual sale for $1.8 billion. So we feel that we have the combination of being in an environment where you can make these big discoveries, but it's jurisdictionally a terrain we're very, very comfortable with, and we've operated for a long period of time.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So, and then you attract very well-known investors, including Kreska, Adrian Dale, Rick Rule. Recently, they just participated recent placement.
That's right. Yes. So we're well supported. Kreska are following us, Quentin in particular, and also groups like Conwave and US Global. Rick Rule has just joined us. My former background, I was a founder of Altus Strategies. It's now become Elemental Altus, and Rick, when he was at Sprott, backed us as a private project generator. So it's fantastic that's now translated to supporting us in Alpha. So yeah, real confirmation, I think, of the appetite for the story, groups that understand the potential and that part of the world. The bit that we are starting to work on, and hence the reason we're here, is we need to get the story out there amongst the sort of retail investors. I mean, as you mentioned, just at the start of PDAC, we put out some stunning results, 18 meters at 15.3 grams per ton, 49 meters at 2.75 grams per ton. This is more or less near surface from surface. And we hardly got any attention from that. And that was the day, as you probably remember, the gold price went through a bit of an inflection. So we can't have that situation going forward. We're drilling right now. We're going to be putting out more good results. And we really want to see some response from investors.
Well, excellent. Well, but those experienced investors didn't miss that.
No.
When Rick Rule saw that, so you got a phone call. So that's great. So you have all the strong shareholders just came in, and then your share price really hasn't moved yet. So you just start telling the story. I have quite a few investors came to me, thank me for introduce Alpha to the Metals Investment Forum. They kind of quite excited to what you have done and what you're going to do. Maybe tell us what's your plan for this.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's good to hear that. Yeah, so that key project at Burner, where we announced those results, we're going to be drilling there. In fact, we're drilling again now. The company's raised nearly $12 million in Canadian in the last year or so. So in spite of the fact the market's been terrible, we've raised the money we need to, so we're funded to drill. So we are going to be drilling a Burner. We're going to be drilling very close to that area where we had the high grade intersect the 80 meters of 15 grams per ton, to see if we can follow that. But there's also there's a number of other targets there which we will be doing to try and really develop the key mineralized lenses, which we think will underpin a future resource. And our ambitions for that project are to make a multi-million ounce discovery. We're not going to declare a resource before we're well on the tail of making a big discovery. It's a little bit similar to what companies like Great Bay have done, and we think that's the right approach. And if we can communicate that effectively to the market, then hopefully investors will start to see that that's what we're doing. So our focus will continue to be on a Burner. We have a copper gold porphyry project as well that is just as good. It's just, we've focused on a Burner for the moment. We've had some very good grades there, so we will continue to do some targeting work there in terms of drilling. We may put a very measured program in there. We have some targets that we've been determined by a porphyry expert that's recently been to site. So we may look to do that. And then separately, the VMS project, we'll do some more work there on the ground. And, amongst the rest of the license, there are 17 other discoveries and areas of existing workings, which just points to the sheer prospectivity of these areas that you can do this. So we may look at the potential, particularly as we seem to be going into a better market, of whether we can spin those assets out, because clearly we can't focus on 20 projects. We want to focus on one, potentially three, but the other ones we want to try and get leverage for our shareholders there on the potential.
Oh, excellent. Are you looking to maybe find a partner in certain projects, or find a major to be partner, or is it you want to get to a critical mass first?
It's good, very good question. I think because we're well funded, we have access to rigs in country. Our feeling at the moment is, obviously certainly a burner we're keeping to ourselves for as long as we possibly can, but even the porphyry, we will do that work ourselves. And I think one of the important things is, and it's a comment that Rick Rule made, said, be careful with porphyries because juniors can lose their shirts, and I can completely agree with him on that. The thing with the porphyry is it's at surface, or it's relatively shallow, so we're not drilling deep holes there. So our feeling at the moment is, if we can continue to add value ourselves, we will just maintain sole ownership as long as we can. But given the copper grades we've intersected on the porphyry in particular, and your own presentation today was excellent in terms of the opportunity around copper, as you'd expect, we do have groups talking to us, both mid-cap and major companies, about the potential for joint venture. But at the moment, if we're funded and we can add value ourselves, then we want to try and retain 100% ownership as long as possible. Ultimately, you really only need to find one big discovery. So we don't need three. But right now, we're going to try and keep all three horses in the race, and then one of them will pull through, hopefully for our shareholders, and will be the big discovery.
Right. And then maybe spin off the rest or something.
Exactly. Or have a interest via a joint venture and royalty, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. So if you're a new shareholder, people decide to participate, hopefully this round, what do they expect in the coming months?
Well, as I said, we're live drilling just now, so we're going to continue to have drilling results coming through. There's the potential also for results from those other projects I mentioned as well. We're also in the background looking very seriously at Saudi, given that the potential exists there as well. So so we're not going to dilute the story in Eritrea. There's obviously the potential to finance in Saudi, but right now the Saudi government is throwing a lot of resources at the mining industry. It's the same geology. It's very, very prospective. So our view is this is a good time to also look very seriously at that. So that may be a situation where we look to acquire ground there. But the focus will be results coming out of the burner and the porphyry project. And if we can get a bigger audience for what we're trying to do, putting out those sort of 18 meters at 15 grams per ton, those sort of results, if we can do that again amongst the other drilling that we're doing, or better, then we will start to see a serious reaction, we think, in the share price, which is what we need.
All right, excellent. And then it seems like you just first time around, you're telling the story, going to the conferences, quite a few conferences this year.
We're working hard, myself and my colleague and the team. So we have a number of conferences we're going to, and it's very good to get the story out there. And the amount of people have said, we love what you guys are doing. We've never heard of you. Why have we never heard of you? So we're burning some shoe leather just now between Toronto, Vancouver, obviously London as well. We've got one-to-one coming up in London. So we're very active now to try and get the story out there, get people understanding who we are.
Well, I'm honored that Metal Investment Forum is your first stop. And then so for the audience, you heard the story first time before this gentleman met. And hopefully, if you have any further questions, go to your website, alphaexploration.com.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, and then call them. They're very interesting story going to unfold this year.
Thank you, Chen. And thanks. Great to be here. And thanks for the time.
All right. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.